Hey guys, Dallas Schilling here from the 2 Hour Circle, and once again we're in the car. We're off to Cleveland this morning because there are some historical connections between Cleveland and Ipswich that you might not know about. We'll tell you more about that shortly. As I was getting in the car this morning, a couple of interesting items that I found on my front lawn. You guys might be able to explain to me. A bra strap. What is there? Why is there a bra strap on my front lawn? What happens whilst I'm sleeping? Goodness me. And worse than that, a tinfoil hat. Yep, there was a tinfoil hat on my front lawn. What's going on in Ipswich? I don't know. We're off to Cleveland. We'll catch up with you shortly. Stay tuned. It's going to be a fun weekend. Bye now. Alright guys, we are on our way to Cleveland, but we've taken a slight detour to Mount Cotton. Not to conquer the mountain, but to conquer this boy. This is a monster. So this is a very famous burger that these guys serve called the Pineapple Express. I'm going to wash that down with a local beer as well. So that's on tap. I'll tell you more about that in the video. So we are going to check this out, and then we're back on our way to Cleveland to check out the connection between Ipswich and Cleveland history. Talk to you soon. Alright, we are in Cleveland, and the spot just behind me is where New South Wales Governor Gibbs landed in 1842 and traipsed through the mud to come into Queensland. Alright guys, the wind is causing us some huge problems, so we're going to change things up a little bit. We're at the end of Paxton Street in Cleveland. Very interesting little street, this one, because at the end of the street you've got Harold Walker Park just here on my right. And there's a stone there to commemorate what used to be a jetty. The jetty was there to load lepers, and the lepers were transported from here across to the very nearby Peel Island. And if you have a look just here out the window, if I was to speculate, that might have something to do with the old pier. I'm not sure, just a speculation. But we're going to drive up here just a fraction further. Swing the car around, hopefully we're not going to make you too dizzy. Alright, so just across the road from me here is the Courthouse Restaurant. Named so because it was the courthouse and it was the lockup at one point. But now's probably a really good opportunity for me to share with you some notes that we found on the internet about Cleveland. So this is the little bit that you guys have all been waiting for. I'm just going to try and read this nice and slow. So Cleveland, on the shores of Moreton Bay, almost became the capital state of Queensland. Many people believed it to be a much better state than the state capital, than the flood-prone and insect-infested former penal colony on the Brisbane River. Among Cleveland's strongest supporters was the rich grazier Francis Bigg, who built a residence there in 1853. Later, the house was leased by the state government as the police residence and courthouse. It stands today, yet another guise, as Ye Old Courthouse Restaurant, and they proudly talk about the resident ghost. Stories of the Cleveland Courthouse ghost. A middle-aged woman in a white gown, her hair gathered into two tight buns over her ears. It's a little bit like a Skywalker story, really, isn't it? Where was I? Have circulated for generations. No one knows for sure who she is, but most people believe it's Francis Bigg's wife, Elizabeth. The spectre is normally well behaved, well that's good to know, but content to amuse herself by tapping staff and diners on the shoulder and sometimes blowing gently in their ear. But she has been known to lose her temper on rare occasions, hurling items about the restaurant, switching on lights and off, fiddling with taps and causing valuable pictures to crash to the floor. Curiously, the glass in the frame never breaking. So I arrived in Queensland, in Ipswich, in the 90s, and I was always told that Ipswich was to be the capital of Queensland. And the reason that Brisbane was picked over Ipswich was because the Bremer River was far too shallow to bring the large boats, therefore lots of cargo. I suspect the reason why Cleveland didn't become the capital and Brisbane did was because of all that mud that our mate had to traipse through in order to land here.